Hello everyone, this is Ronald, and I decided to put this short video together to give you a quick overview of how the OpenDialog request and response lifecycle works and what happens in between. What do I mean by request and response? That is from the moment we receive a message through a conversational interface, what do we do within the OpenDialog architecture, and then send a message back. So that's the request and response. So as we said, everything starts with actually receiving a message through a conversational interface. This is going to pass to OpenDialog sensor. A sensor is the piece of the architecture that is responsible to validate and parse an incoming message and convert it to what we call an OpenDialog utterance. An OpenDialog utterance is an envelope that contains the original message together with any other information that is relevant, all in a structure that the rest of the OpenDialog architecture can reason about and deal with. So the OpenDialog utterance is going to be passed to the conversation engine. The conversation engine is going to use the current conversation context to identify what are the possible next intents from the user. It is then going to identify the interpreters that are associated with those intents and will pass the OpenDialog utterance to those interpreters. Each interpreter is going to produce one or more results in terms of intents that the interpreter thinks are contained within that utterance. And the job of the conversation engine is to select one of those intents, which you can think of as the winning intent, and that intent becomes the actual next step in the conversation flow, right? So the winning incoming intent defines the new position that we find ourselves within the conversation context. Now, that intent may have actions associated with it. So we're going to go to the action engine and perform any of those actions. Usually this involves interacting with external APIs. As a result of all of that, we're going to update the contextual information that we have. And now we pass to the next step, which is to identify what would be an appropriate outgoing intent. So the conversation engine is going to do that reasoning. At the same time, if that outgoing intent now is associated with an action, we're going to go ahead and perform that action. So as you can see, you can have an action take place once you've matched an incoming utterance to an incoming intent. And then you can also perform an action once you've matched an outgoing intent. Once more, that action will update any other context information. And finally, we can go to the response engine with our outgoing intent and say, we would like to pass to the user this intent. What message should we use to do this? And the response engine will select an appropriate message. And then based on the conversational interface that we were originally contacted through, we'll format that message so that we can send it as now an outgoing utterance back to the interface. And that completes the flow through the OpenDialog architecture. I hope this was useful.